50% is like louder than 100% volume on the stage 1 setup.
Yes.
Fair?
Yes.
Okay. You ever actually listen to it full blast?
Not really. You don't need to. It's pretty loud, full blast. Really, at 50%, you can hear all the clarity going 80 miles an hour. So
okay,
it's a lot. It's pretty good.
Henny, you want to go to work? Yeah? Are you going to ride in here? No? Where are you going to ride?
His bike.
Are you going to ride your bike? What's up, Internet? Welcome back to the channel. It's another day in the shop. Unfortunately, I'm not going to Sturgis this year. Everybody wanted to know if I'd be there. I won't. Got a bunch of friends that'll be there though. Adam Sandoval will be there. Zero will be out there. And Soundz Customs, speaker company I did a video with down in Daytona a couple of months ago. Yep, they'll be there. But first, they'll be here today. This video dropping a new system in Brad's Road Glide Special 2018 model. He opted for the better of the good, better, best setup that they offer. Link down in the description. Really usable website that they have, so you can kind of know what I'm talking about. Check it out for yourself. Pete, owner of Soundz, is going to do a run through on what we're putting in, how it installs. He's going to give me some install tips and you some install tips. Do a sound check, though sometimes it's hard to gauge through my camera and your computer speakers or cell phone speakers, whatever. So if you're in the Sturgis area, make sure to go check him out. He'll be more than happy to give you a sound demo. Yes, sir. Let's go to work.
For those of you that don't know me, my name is John Maxwell. I'm a highly trained unprofessional right here at Chattanooga Harley Davidson. And on this channel, I bring you guys to work with me. So if you want to learn more about Harley Davidson, you should hit the subscribe button right now.
This is tinned 16 gauge OFC, so it's actually would be marine compliant.
Okay.
So if you get it wet, which is going to happen on a bike.
More than likely. So rear speaker, power and ground, all routed nice and neat through the stock main harness, trough and everything. You already have the saddlebag harnesses run, everything. So before we actually install the speakers, I want you to be able to see them, because magnets are important in speakers and you can really see a difference in these. You got stock on 14 and later, it looks like this. 17 and later specials come stock with stage 1s, and then that's an upgrade for other models. And then you have Pete's speaker. Iron 65s. You do the drill, Pete.
Well, it's a lot bigger ferrite magnet, so we have more heat dissipation, a lot more throw for the woofer itself, and you have progressive cooling. So this thing stays really cool while running very hard for many hours. So
okay,
when you're riding, it'll take the beating that you're going to put to it.
Is that what makes the speaker blow? Like you run wide open all the time,
Correct.
You just wear that joker out, right?
So a couple of things, just looking at the two speakers, see how many tines are on here. This actually affects basically that back wave of that speaker as it moves in and out.
Mm-hmm.
So we have less in the way, so
okay,
less effect, more cooling. The smaller magnet isn't going to dissipate as much heat. So usually what people do, you see other companies, maybe they'll put like fins on here just to kind of help dissipate the heat, kind of like your engine.
That makes sense.
So air-cooled speaker,
principle.
Air-cooled engine, same idea.
We should talk about those saddlebag speakers too.
Yeah.
I don't have you. Oh, hey, Brad. Do you happen to have a Harley amp and saddlebag speaker that you can show me?
Well, yes, I have 4 of them.
We'll get into that later.
We have our Iron 69. These are actually our prototypes, so Brad gets kind of the first one. So all you guys, you get to envy Brad. So you might see the sticker on the back. Does it quite fit? That's why. Anyway, so this is a waterproof 6x9, brand new, coax design, simply because we wanted some more mid-range. We want some more volume out of these things, but we also want it to really kick and get low and have some bass. Kind of the whole point of cutting your limits.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's where this speaker comes in. So we have the same size terminals, makes it really easy regardless of what maybe you did have before. The wire harnesses are going to match up really easy. 6 dB crossovers, so super simple, easy to work with, regardless of what you have for power. You got a big magnet again, dissipates a lot of heat, so when you're running for, let's say, 8, 10, 12 hours,
Yeah.
you really get that output that you're looking for in a longevity. So, and then waterproof, because, well, we want to try to stay
Yeah.
as dry as we can in these lids.
100%. All right, quick side-by-side of the Iron 69 6x9 speaker versus Harley's, well, 5x7, right, Pete?
Correct.
Okay.
So we have a 5x7 as well, but in this particular bike we're doing a 6x9. So same thing, small tiny magnet. It's not going to dissipate the heat. Tends to cause a lot of failure.
Yeah. I mean, look at it's a pretty big difference right there. Heck yeah. And like Pete said, there is a 5x7 that hopefully we'll be seeing more of on the channel later, just not for Brad's application. Because we're going big or going home this go around.
That's right.
Power and all this, you got to have an amplifier. Harley's amp, not tunable to any degree. You plug in one connector right there, and then the shop computer takes care of its equalization, how many speakers you're running off of it, and it maxes out at 4 channels. 75 watts a channel on Harley's amp, and Pete's going to throw in all the specs for Soundz.
Okay, so we do have an adjustable amplifier. On top of that, we have a DSP in this scenario. So, like Harley, we communicate with a CAN bus, so we keep your digital fade, not an analog fade, a digital fade. So that's huge, because there's Harley and there's us. Nobody else has that option. And then all the tuning that Harley doesn't have. So if you're an audio nerd or geek or whatever you want to call yourself, you can do whatever you want with it. And then on our amplifier and our harnesses, it's a 4-channel amp. However, we have the ability to add and do up to 8 speakers.
Because it's a more powerful amp.
It's a more powerful amp. So at 4 ohms, we have 120 watts per channel. At 2 ohms, we have 204. So a lot of power out of this thing.
Okay.
So, but with this harness, it allows you just to plug it in once and go, like if Brad said, hey, I want to add lowers and take off this beautiful chin spoiler, which I doubt, he could.
Yeah.
If he wanted to add a tour pack and add speakers back there, he could. So he could have up to 8 speakers with this bike.
That's cool.
So
it's fully expandable out of that
Correct.
initial purchase. Okay. And then for anybody that doesn't know, that is a Road Glide bracket. If you've ever done other aftermarket kits, there's always some instruction in how to mount the amp to the bracket. So wait, why do I have so many brackets? What is going on here? And you just unbox it just like that, ready to bolt into your bike.
So when we send this out, like if we have a customer or a dealer that purchases the kit specific to the bike, so like in this scenario, Brad orders a kit for his bike, we set it up specific to your bike and we ship it out to you that way. We do have some generic options, so if somebody wanted to order, like for example, Chattahoochee Harley wanted to order 10 different kits and have it be semi-universal to whatever bike they might have in their bay, that is an option, but at the same time, we can set it up so everything shows up just like this. So you go, hey, that's really cool, rip out of the box, slide it in, done.
Cool.
I like that if Chattahoochee Harley orders kits, it's like foreshadowing into the future of what will be happening.
And then upgradable.
Yes.
So like these have the ability to add that GTSI.
Mm-hmm.
So when Brad does that fancy 19 radio in here,
yes,
he's got everything. Or if you ordered a kit and you didn't do a DSP right away, you have a regular input, so you don't have to do the DSP. Everything is completely upgradable as you go.
That's
so you
cool.
can start wherever you want. You could even do a 2-channel amp and then upgrade all the way from 2 speakers and 1 amp all the way to 8 speakers, a DSP, the whole 9.
Very cool. All right, let's get installing. Otherwise, we're gonna have to work through lunch. the harness routed for the amp. Pretty standard. A little bit of excess looped up in there so everything isn't pulled tight, messed up, damaged later. As long as you leave the headlight out, we can still reach all of our adjustment screws in the amp if we want to fine tune anything before we finish up. Speaking of fine tuning, we can actually get the laptop out and start programming stuff. What do we got to do with the computer, Pete?
So we plug into the diagnostic port with our specialized line. Plug it in, select our sound setting in the drop-down menu, hit program speaker.
So you're just a 8 speaker, every time you just set it 8 speakers, correct. Where for this setup, there would be no codes.
I guess what this really does for our system is flattens out the EQ curve coming out of the radio.
Yeah.
So when we hook up to it with the DSP, now we adjust everything on that system. So instead of Harley doing it through their computer and programming the amp, programming the radio, we're doing it strictly through our DSP.
Okay, so that's part of what makes the DSP make the system sound better is you set it up for a specific system, not just a blanket like, hope this sounds good.
Yes. Yep.
Cool.
And that's it.
Now the DSP that we talked about mounts right here. If you were to run the GTSI, it would also mount over here. The plastic stays on just as an added measure of waterproofing. So if you happen to be doing this at your house, don't go thinking you need to unwrap that. I'd leave it there. So we caught a glimpse of Pete taping up the bags earlier. That's because we're cutting these jokers up. 6x9s don't just drop in anything. But that is a bit of cost that you don't incur, like the Harley setup. You end up having to buy saddlebag lids at $2.99 a piece. That's pretty steep. So yeah, I'm glad Pete's here to do all this cutting. Show me some tricks. And wood screws there in the center to hold it to the piece of bag that's going to be gone later anyway.
Safety first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my other favorite part of this is the effect. Use a grinder.
Yep.
Oscillating tool allows you to plunge cut, get everything done, and then you can just smooth it out later.
Okay. With the holes cut in the saddlebags, just take the 2-piece setup, the grill and the frame, I'll call it, to screw the grill to the frame around the saddlebag lid. That'll hold the grill in place, and then the speaker will install inside the frame. Pretty simple stuff.
So, kind of right below there. And with the Delphi ends, you got a nice, easy, get to this point, you can disconnect your bag super easy. And they're waterproof.
Quick disconnect of the saddlebag. Saddlebag harness is still plug and play. Routed super clean through the saddlebag. And then the 2 terminals for positive and negative on the speaker are separate sizes, so you can't possibly mess it up. So giant magnet doesn't fit in stock speaker pod.
It's a little far off. What we need to do is trim a hole right here. So easiest way to deal with that, 2.5 inch, give or take, hole saw. And then put the negative on the negative, positive on the positive. That simple. Line it up. See, now speaker fits. Everything's, make sure we can see that in the camera. Looks like we can. So everything fits just like it's supposed to. And we get all the time, well, now that there's a hole, we've got to cover that with something. Yes, we do. However, we have found that it's actually far better to take care of the issues that you're going to have because of that hole by covering the outer fairing, the inside of the outer fairing. And when it sandwiches up against it, it takes care of that.
Okay, yeah,
So-
that makes sense. If Gates, you guys didn't know, this is your spacing, this little pad. That's how close that. That's probably pushing out on the outer fair.
Probably is,
More
yeah.
than likely.
So we can eliminate that because that's taken care of now.
I'm just gonna put that right there. Alright, so I'm actually gonna walk, I don't know if you knew this, main building, service department, the bunker, way out here. Actually just renamed the pavilion. It's where we throw parties and all that. It's hot outside, so I parked in the shade. I got everything set up for you guys. We actually already did this part with Pete, Maddie, the Soundz crew, but it dawned on me that, well, I'll reshoot this with the same songs with a stock bike and a Brad's bike. And after we finish, when y'all hear this, we'll go talk to Brad and see what he thinks after having the system for about 3 weeks, almost a month. And yeah, so we've gotten to the sound test part of the video. Know that royalty-free music, it's not as cool as, I wish I could show you guys something better, but remember last time I shot a Soundz video, I ended up getting hit with copyright and the video couldn't even be shown in America. So yeah, we're gonna, royalty-free music, it's not as good as the best, but we got hard rock, we got a rap song, kind of show you bass versus the everything, because metal and hard rock and stuff has so many different frequencies it can really drown out and get distorted at higher volumes. So we'll check these two systems to see what they sound like. But I actually have you guys on a lav mic on my shirt so that you can hear me talking, because my camera is set up, it's actually pretty far away from the bike. Yeah, so, but yeah, anyway. When I turn this music on, it's gonna kill that mic. You already said that the internet just doesn't do audio testing justice, but I'm trying, okay? So y'all are way over there. This is stage one. Everything is set, bass line, treble, everything's in the middle. I'm gonna do a 50% and 100% volume on the stock Road Glide, and then we'll do Brad's bike. 50%. Now this is the exact same song, same setup, same mic settings, audio settings on my big camera. I'm still on a lav mic. This is the rock or metal song, royalty free, at 50%. And 100% volume on this bike. %. We're gonna have to walk farther away. It's obviously peaking where it's like sounds super distorted on my camera, even though it sounds great out of here. Let me show you how far away we can go with that. Keep on walking until I can find a place that the audio meter isn't crazy looking. Can y'all still hear the words? I mean, I understand all the words, clear as day. I actually did have to turn the bass down, to be fair. I couldn't leave it in the middle and still, like, 100% got a little hectic. But that's jamming, dude. as I said, I listen to a lot of rock, you know, higher frequency voice and guitar, lower frequency bass, all kind of together so it can jumble itself up. But if you happen to like rap, I did find one royalty-free rap song just to kind of check the bass. Still has some words to it.
Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone perfection, it's all that I wanted, a put in affection,
At 50% volume.
my blessings, I feel like I'm falling, the birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone perfection, it's all that I wanted, a put in affection, I summon and double. Cause bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems, I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. Bragging about hundreds, so holding your places, I know that they suck it, but holding your brother, I barely can trust it. I talked to a shorty, she bagging a bucket, and I'ma need all of my dollars on focus, so hand me the money, I did with the pie. I'ma keep all of my people, the portion of good, I'm a fortune, I'm flipping the ride. I can be mixing with iffy the vibe, and 40 on 50 is swinging.
Brad was actually working hard while I was doing the sound test, which is fine. I just kind of got to compare myself. Brad already knows what's up. So I made a joke though, like 5 minutes ago in the video, a month ago in real life, about how many stage 2 systems you own.
Yeah.
So, what, you want some speakers?
Yeah. I wanted some. Had a guy come through with a CVO that he was rebuilding. I bought all of his speakers because I was gonna go ahead and throw those in mine. And about 2 days before that, I bought a stage 2 fairing kit from the parts department. Still got it. It's for sale. If you want it, I'll cut you a hell of a deal. But once I heard Soundz, I decided that that's where I wanted to go. So.
Yeah, and I don't know that, I think I mentioned it in the very, very, very beginning that there's a good, better, and best. Brad has the better. So the mid-range in quality, sound, and price, it's all in the website, super easy to navigate. Stage 1, what was your complaints with the stock setup?
Well, I couldn't hear it going down the highway over the exhaust.
It's like 80 miles an hour?
70, 80 miles an hour. I couldn't hear anything but just a little bit of the tweeter. The only way I knew what I was listening to was by looking at the radio, and I know this song, and naturally I would be timing it. So,
okay.
You know, with the stock exhaust, I think the stage 1's good. It's sufficient on the special, but once you start upgrading things, you can't hear anything but.
That's
exhaust.
fair. You're running stage 4 with Thunderheader exhaust.
Yeah.
So it's pretty loud. It's actually in my Kuriokin soundbar review. Brad's right in front of me. If you've seen that video, you can hear how good his exhaust is. Also, how loud the Kuriokin sound. I'm just kidding.
No, that's good too. So.
So, what was I going to ask? In testing today, like I didn't realize until I started doing the 50% volume. 50% is like louder than 100% volume on the stage 1 setup.
Yes.
Fair?
Yes.
Okay. You ever actually listen to it full blast?
Not really. You don't need to. It's pretty loud, full blast. Really, at 50%, you can hear all the clarity going 80 miles an hour. So
okay,
it's a lot. It's pretty good.
I can't remember if I said so. Once I went 100% on Brad's with volume, I did have to drop bass down. It did start to distort at that level, but the bass is still there as you're dropping it. Pete mentioned a minute ago about the woofer travel. That's bass. So pretty sharp stuff.
Yeah.
Overall, happy with the purchase?
Super happy.
Okay.
I would stress for people not to get it twisted though. You're not going to be rolling down the street listening to bass when you're going 80 miles an hour because bass travels a little bit different through the air than actual noise.
Good to know, because sitting right here, particularly underneath the pavilion, it's probably a little unfair being in here, but dude, it's like 95 outside, so I wasn't about to stand in the sun for all this. Yeah, so you're going to lose some bass, fair, with every system too though. At least when you're sitting still, it sounds good.
It's just the way sound waves work, man.
Yeah. Science. So, yeah, that's it. Linked in the description. They're chilling at Sturgis right now. Brad and I will be working Columbus, Georgia, so we won't be there. Sorry, bro. If you like this video, make sure to give a big dirty thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, smash Brad's face. If you haven't quite got your fix, there's a video popping up on my face and right here. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, so now that we're done, you want to play cornhole?
Yeah, let's play some cornhole.
All right, sweet.